I uploaded some poems yesterday that I ended up taking down. The reason one, into my feed on YouTube by the title of Dry Begging. I second-guessed myself and wondered, is that what I'm doing? Well, if motives count, and they do, I'm never wanting to manipulate anyone. Then I pondered, what is the right thing to do if in a dilemma? You aren't supposed to be too prideful to let your trouble be known. Ask for help, we're told. But you do, and it seems there isn't any. Is it manipulation or dry begging to write poems about feelings and publish it on my channel? Obviously, it's not wrong to process and write, but is sharing the writing equal to dry begging? Reminds me of all I've learned in the last 3 years about abuse and narcissism. Podcasts consumed back then like crackers. Question would arise by the woman leaving domestic abuse. Am I maybe a narcissist? I've been angry and yelled before, etc. The podcaster would say something to the effect that no, you are most certainly not, as you are questioning if you are. Being willing to introspect and critically analyze our actions and motives is a huge clue to not being the abuser. Although under dire circumstances, often for decades, we get worn down to the point of losing it on occasion. It's called reactive abuse. As a strong empath, I feel others' feelings too, and I was ashamed any time I lost my cool when still in the domestic abuse setting. Of course, I wasn't calling it abuse, and I didn't realize it was. He would play on that, condemning me. He would highlight to our kids, see how your mom acts, etc. Yes, they also would make me equal to him in behavior, although not knowing of marital rape and severe mental prison. I too, in this sad state, held myself to severely high standards. My self-talk was wickedly harsh as I kept trying so hard every day to please an unchristian spouse, who the Bible said was to be won to Christ by my meek and quiet conversation. Conversation in the King James Version meaning behavior. Every attempt by the spouse or pastor or quote friend that could be used to show me my failure in this regard was pointed out repeatedly. This kept me stuck in a cycle of people-pleasing unbeknownst to me. I've always had a strong personality, and upon more cult-like church scenes I eventually entered like the conservative Mennonites. The more oppressed the real me became. My intuition always guided me opposite to this, but I thought that was the part of me that was supposed to be crucified, my flesh. It was to be crucified daily, as taught in the scriptures. So codependency is the label psychology wants to apply, but fundamental religious doctrines of submission were creating a prison of body and mind. I knew I didn't deserve the crap treatment, the affairs, belittling, bullying, but I was to take wrong, turn the other cheek, and be willing to suffer like Jesus did for my sins. As much as I acted out sexually as a teen, I knew Jesus had really done so much to set me free. So I was ever so willing to live my life for him. If that meant doing everything possible to be the most godly wife, to eventually, quote, win this lost spouse to Christ, by somehow becoming meek and quiet or unassuming, damn it, I would. I cut out all secular music for over 20 years, which I'll probably never fully recover from. Also, movies and TV, makeup. I covered my hair. I didn't cut my hair for over 10 years. I covered my hair with a head covering, a headscarf. Started out with more of like the Jewish type that were more fashionable, and eventually went to like very, very simple, just to not even, like, it was like almost like in the Mennonite churches, any kind of fashion was thought to be, wicked. Except for their fashion of their certain make and model of their kinds of dresses and shoes. But anyway, let's see. The head covering was a biblical sign of a woman's submission to her husband. I allowed him to dominate me, always deferring to him, which is scary if you're dealing with a psychopath, which I now know is the case. The day I filed for divorce, all of my accounts were hacked into, emails, Amazon, etc. He denies, of course, it's all a coincidence. Of course, sure. I got a letter from a Mennonite lady recently begging me not to continue to be deceived and to come back to the truth. The spouse used every church person he could, Baptist, Mennonite, non-denominational, everyone he could, to try to keep me from leaving. Control, control, control. My motives have always been pure, but no one controls me anymore. The other day I was driving down the boulevard, and there was a place, but it's called Diamonds Direct. And I just had this it just spoke to me of diamonds, or people who have been put under pressure and who've come, they direct, they're bosses, they direct their own life. They are leaders.